Hey everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to add and subtract square root expressions. Now expressions with radicals are considered to be like terms if they have the same radicand, which is that number inside of the radical. Often we need to simplify the radical expressions to identify like terms. So when we're given an expression to add or subtract, we may not always see like terms right away. And that's because the radicands could be different, and if we go through the process of simplifying each of the radical expressions, we may notice at the end they are in fact like terms, and then we're able to combine them. So it is important that we feel confident in our ability to simplify radical expressions, and if not, be sure to go back and watch the previous video. Now once we go through all the simplifying, in order to add or subtract radicals, we add or subtract the coefficients of like terms, i.e. terms with the same radicand. So in our first example, which is 3 square root of 5 plus 7 square root of 5, the first thing we want to do is compare the radicands. So both terms have a radicand of 5, which makes these terms like terms. Then we go and add the coefficients. So 3 plus 7 would give us 10 square root of 5. Notice the square root expression stays exactly the same. A good way to think about this is treating the square root expression as an object. Think back to when you first learned addition and you added apples or bananas, or pick any fruit that you would like. 3 apples plus 7 apples, you would have 10 apples. The object doesn't change. So here, the square root of 5 is the object. We have 3 square root of 5s. We're adding 7 square root of 5s, which means in total we have 10 square root of 5s. So the square root of 5 as the object remains. Now shifting to the second example, which is a subtraction problem, we have 13 square root of 10 minus the square root of 10. So comparing the radicands, they are the same. They are both 10. Meaning we have like terms. Now for the second term here, there is a coefficient of 1, even though it's not written. It may be helpful to write it in. And since we have like terms, we are going to subtract the coefficients here. So 13 minus 1 gives us 12 square root of 10. Again, thinking about it differently, we are taking 1 square root of 10 away from a group of 13 square root of 10s, which means we have 12 square root of 10s left over. Now we're going to practice by simplifying each of the following expressions. So first up, we have square root of 28 plus square root of 63. Comparing the two radicands, they are not the same, so we would not consider them to be like terms. But before we just say, that's it, and move on, we need to see if each of those radicands can be simplified. So for the first term, 28 can be simplified with the factor pair 4 and 7. And then we separate into two separate square root terms, and we get 2 square root of 7. Now let's see if 63 can be simplified. So we have square root of 9 and 7. So square root of 9 times the square root of 7. So 3 square root of 7. I'll put the addition sign back in between those two terms. So we compare the radicands, and now we see these are like terms. They both have a radicand of 7. So we add the coefficients. 2 plus 3 is 5 square root of 7. Shifting to our next example where we have 3 terms, square root of 60 plus the square root of 121 minus 3 times the square root of 15. We compare the 3 radicands, 60, 121, and 15. Right now, we do not have any like terms, but we can simplify the first 2 terms. So, square root of 60, we can rewrite as 4 times 15. And just to highlight the process of simplifying again, if we wanted to go through working backwards, we would divide 60 by 2 and get 30. and work our way down the list of perfect squares from 30. So we would try 25, 16, 9, and then finally 4. And that would be the first perfect square factor that works as a factor pair of 4 and 15. So then we have square root of 4 times the square root of 15 to square root of 15. Square root of 121, well, 121 is a perfect square. The square root would be 11. So I'll bring that down with the addition. And then 15 does not have any perfect square factors. We could check that pretty quickly. So then I'll bring that term down as well. So now that we've simplified, we can compare to find like terms. So we have 15 and 15 as the radicand in the first and the last term. So then we go and we subtract their coefficients. 2 minus 3, that would be negative square root of 15 plus 11. If you wrote negative 1 square root of 15 plus 11, great. That is equivalent. If you wrote in a different order, if you wrote, say, 11 minus the square root of 15, that would be okay too. All of those would be correct answers. Next up, we have 3 times the square root of 32 minus 2 times the square root of 8 plus the square root of 128. So right now, the 3 radicands are different, but each of them can be simplified. So we'll go through that process first. So 32, if we split in half, would be 16. So 16 and 2. So we have 3 times the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. 3 times 4 times the square root of 2. 12 square root of 2. Next, we have square root of 8. So half of 8 is 4. 4 is a perfect square. So we have 2 times the square root of 4 times 2. 2 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. 2 times 2 times the square root of 2. So 4 square root of 2, and I'll put the minus sign between those two terms again. And then we have 128. Again, divide by 2, we get 64. So this is convenient for us in these 3 examples. We're able to find the perfect square factor quite quickly. So square root of 64 times the square root of 2, 8 square root of 2. I'll just bring that down one more line. So now, as we compare the 3 terms here, they all have a radicand of 2. It means we have 3 like terms, and we combine their coefficients. So 12 minus 4 plus 8. So 12 minus 4 would be 8. 8 plus 8 would be 16. So we have 16 square root of 2 as the simplest answer. We'll box that one in. We did a bit of work to get that one. All right, now we got 4 terms. 8 square root of 27 minus the square root of 20 minus 2 times the square root of 75 plus the square root of 500. So no radicands are the same yet. Let's go through the process of simplifying first. So 8 times the square root of 27 is 9 and 3. Again, if we can get that factor pair directly, do so. It's going to be the fastest option for you. So 8 times 3 times the square root of 3, 24 square root of 3. Then we have square root of 20, so that's square root of 4 and 5. So square root of 4 times the square root of 5, 2 square root of 5. And I'll just bring that down one more line. Then we have 2 times square root of 75. So we can go 25 and 3. So 2 times the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. 2 times 5 times square root of 3. 10 square root of 3. And then square root of 500, we have 100 times 5. Square root of 100 times square root of 5. 10 square root of 5. I'll bring that down one more line. Let's put the signs back in. So minus, minus, plus. Okay, so let's identify our like terms. So radicand of 3, radicand of 3. So those two terms are like terms. So we combine their coefficients. So 24 minus 10, 14 square root of 3. And then we have 5 and 5. We'll use a different underscore. We'll curve. So then we combine their coefficients. So negative 2 plus 10 would be 8. So plus 8 square root of 5. And we cannot combine these two terms because their radicands are different. They are not like terms. And again, let's box this in. We did quite a bit of work to get here. We had to simplify all four terms in order for us to identify like terms and combine. So that's the process of adding and subtracting square root expressions. It requires simplifying, and then once we identify the radicands are the same, they're like terms, and we go and combine those coefficients. In the next video, we'll tackle multiplying, dividing, and rationalizing. See you there!